Hey, this is Tobias again, and today I would like to introduce to you an advanced feature in ISESteroids that I would just like to introduce to you right away. I don't want to talk much about it. I'd rather like to show it to you. When you start the steroids, which is just a module, like an extension to the ISE editor, you see this little thumb here, command analysis. So let's take a look at what it does really. When you enter a command, let's say get service spooler, you can get away with this. It runs and you see all the results. However, this is not politically correct. Politically correct in PowerShell would be to do the binding yourself. And the binding is the process where PowerShell determines where this argument should go. GetService has a number of parameters, and when you don't specify the parameter name in front of your argument, you never know really where it ends up. With the command analysis, you can basically watch PowerShell do the automatic binding. So simply drag it up and then run a command. And now you can see what really occurred in the background. GetService submitted spooler to the parameter name, and you can see in the tooltip all the steps that it did until it finally was successfully binding the argument. As you can see, it expected a string array, so you could actually have specified more than one name here. This works too, except it can't find the one server because I misspelled it. But again, this was converted to a string array and then bound to that parameter. So this gives you great insight in what really is occurring during binding. It also illustrates how important it is to do the binding yourself. So by writing -name, you would not let PowerShell automatically determine the binding, but instead you would use an explicit binding. The result's the same, except this time it was easier to find. Although there are more steps in this list, it's simply just a very verbose output of how PowerShell was trying to bind your input to the available parameters. Now there's more. Here's a data tab. When you click on the data tab, you get a sample per type of the results that were returned by your command. So you can immediately see that GetService, that this command returned objects of type system, service process, service controller, and then you can dive into those in this sample object. That's basically the first object that it picked from your results, and take a look at how it really is organized and what kind of data you can find in it. Or you can click on this member tab, which gives you the get member information for the results of your command. That is really useful if you want to teach people about the object-oriented nature of PowerShell. Let's see what happens when I type in hello. Immediately you'll see get member information for string or a 1. That's an int32. 1.4 would be a double. So it's really assisting you in discovering how PowerShell is an object-oriented shell rather than a text-based shell. Now finally you can click on binding. Binding would only yield information if you do have argument bindings. So if I take again my initial command, get service spooler, here you can dive into the binding in a tree view manner and see exactly what has happened. And now if someone comes up with something like this, dir c windows star ps1 r n, and you run this command, then you can see once the command is finished, this would be the true call that this weird syntax really executed. So this is always the normalized view of your command. Basically the same thing is occurring if you have a line like that in your script and you run the script fixer. This would do the same thing. It would replace aliases and parameterize and put named parameters into your command. Now when you drag it down again, the command analysis, it is turned off. You don't want to have this open all the time because it does slow down your script execution since there's a lot of things going on. And if you don't want to see this thing, you can always click this icon here and then turn off the command analysis panel altogether. Okay, that's it for now. Have fun with ISESteroids. Please visit us at powertheshell.com. Bye-bye, and may the PowerShell be with you.